Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now you can start, Andrea. Go ahead. How are you?
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
We're joking because we do that pretty much every morning when we hit record. That's Andrea's
Okay.
first
All right.
thing, you know.
Yeah, that's
Why
my
not?
that's my cue to say good morning, Bill.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually good morning to you, Sophie, right?
Yeah. Good morning
Yeah.
Good morning,
and happy
Sophie.
happy Saturday.
Yeah.
Happy future in the past, in the future.
Friday. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You saw that I ordered the book for you, right?
I did. Thank you. That's
Lulu
awesome.
will Lulu actually will mail it. I mean, they charge me some extra taxes or something. I guess that probably goes to Australia because I know when you looked it up on when the last book we were trying to get you, you looked it up on Amazon and it was a different price because of the dollar to
Mm,
Australian. So that's probably why they charged me a little extra for it. But it says they're going to mail it to you, and it should
awesome.
be there
That's
within
wonderful.
7 to 10 days.
Yeah, because I've looked
Cheers.
up that one, and I think to get it over here, it was over $100
For
because
that
it's
book,
that one. Yeah.
and you were getting it through Lulu.
No, this was through Amazon or something like
Oh,
where I looked.
yeah, she told me she didn't even have it on Amazon. It, it's the study book, right? That's the one I
Yeah. Yeah.
sent you. I
Yep.
hope it's the right one. It
Yeah.
ended
No,
up
that is
being
the
like,
right one. Yes.
yeah, it ended up being like $34 with the mailing and everything. So,
Thank you.
uh,
I appreciate it.
yeah, so you
Yep.
should get that in 7 to 10 days, and if you don't, we'll know Lulu is just like Amazon, and we'll figure it out after that. But I think
Yeah.
you'll get
Okay.
it. So
Awesome.
how was your week?
Um, a bit up and down. Yesterday was very down. I was very tired, and then I was just not focusing on what I was eating. I was just eating.
Ugh.
So
Let me
yeah,
ask you a question. When you were just
yeah,
eating, were you thinking about I'm not supposed to be eating?
yeah, probably.
Yeah. That was a yes.
Yes.
So it's in there. Your subconscious mind knows that you're that you don't want to do it. So it's not something that happens overnight. So it's
Yeah.
the you just move forward. You say, okay, I did it, and don't and
Yeah,
forget
that's
it.
it.
Yeah,
Today's good.
yeah, did it,
Today's good.
and I'll forget it, and I'll just work on you know be mindful the next day, which is today. So
Yep.
don't think you got to starve yourself today because you messed it up yesterday.
Oh no, no. I
Yeah.
mean, what
Oh,
I ate yesterday, most of it was pretty sort of healthy-ish as well. So I didn't just pick
okay.
out loads of chips or um lollies or stuff like that. It
Yeah.
was more nuts and fruit and things like that. So
Yeah. What about you, Andrea? How was your week?
It was pretty good. Earlier today, coincidentally, but not. Um, so there is a Hershey's almond chocolate in the refrigerator that Frank is not a chocolate person, but he'll take little nibbles from time to time, and it could be there for days, even weeks. And I looked at it and I was like, I really want it. And immediately I was, you don't need it, Andre. You've been doing so good for 10 days without any sugar, processed sugar. So I've had fruit, like I've had mangoes, I've had bananas, blueberries. I did
Natural.
have, yeah, I did have bread one day. And what I'm doing now is instead of eating a loaf of bread, which a loaf could be this big or it could be this big. Okay.
okay.
So it's been a long time since I ate a loaf this big because when I say I love bread, I love bread. But I had a piece of Cuban bread. I enjoyed every bit of it. I didn't add anything to it. I just had it with a cup of black coffee. I am not putting 2 or 3 um, spoonfuls of sugar. I'm putting like half a teaspoon, and that was only once. So I'm either not drinking coffee at all, um, just because the time and what I've been doing, because I've been doing a few things. Um, and I've also been finding out that the fasting for women is different than fasting for men. And that when women wake up, that we actually need to have, I don't know the exact grams of protein, but to stop the production of cortisol, we should eat within 30 minutes protein, some sort of protein. It could be yogurt, whatever, some sort of protein to slow down and stop the cortisol buildup that as women we are making when we initially wake up. And so that's where the belly fat kind of has a tendency to go to the midsection. And so I had been fasting and essentially not eating till about 12 or 1 o'clock. And a few of those days I lost track of time and didn't eat till close to dinner. So I went almost the whole day without eating until I ate dinner. But what I will say is that I am feeling better in just the last 10 days. Um, I feel a little bit more focused and alert. But I have had moments where even though I'm eating healthier, where I feel like I found myself wanting to eat out of boredom or out of just like, ooh, I'm passing through the kitchen. I'm going to have me some Bing cherries and some pecans and nothing with salt or anything. It's just nothing additive, but still just eating because I was like, ooh, and you're just doing it. Though I'm mindful of it, I'm not like, I'm not beating myself up about it. I'm continuing to be mindful when I eat whatever it is that I do eat.
Now, when you were doing the intermittent fasting, I know you were that was a thought process. When you decided to eat at noon or 1 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, was that because you got hungry, or were you hungry earlier and you said, "No, I'm just not going to eat because I'm fasting"?
Combination of both.
Hmm.
So at the beginning, I was when I got hungry, I chose not to eat. I was like, because my window wasn't open yet, and so I said, don't eat. And so I didn't. So I was just drinking water, and I drank tea. So I had a cup of tea first thing in the morning, and I take a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar on an empty stomach. And that's just to help with digestion and all that. And then when I first started that, I got hungry and I didn't eat. I just said it's not time to eat, so I didn't. And after I want to say 4 days, then I just didn't really think about. I wasn't hungry and I just ate, and it wound up that I needed to eat around closer to noon than 1, because I actually got hungry.
What I read about one of the things, the reason to eat when you're hungry, not to wait, is because it's resetting your metabolism. That's the reason for the eat when you're hungry, and not necessarily stop when you're full, but just the eat. Because if you don't eat when you're hungry, then your body is all confused and your metabolism gets all screwed up. That's why I asked that question. So
Yeah, and the other thing, and it's great that we're actually having these conversations because there is an inundation of information regarding so many different things that is recommended: fast, keto, protein, carb, all these different diets. I One thing I don't do is I don't do diets. That being said, one thing that I found extremely valuable and was very eye-opening this week for me was that a lot of a great majority of the information that is being provided and being talked of from doctors is from the viewpoint of a man's body and not a woman. And as women, we have a completely different cycle than men do. And so when those things are not taken into consideration, women are participating in these different fad diets that are not working for them because One, it's obviously going to cost some money to get some additional blood work and kind of know what your body's doing, what you react to. If you have a sensitivity to gluten or sugar or whatever. And so we're for those of us, including myself, that are not well versed in how our bodies operate, then we take information that is majority based on a man's body, and we make these decisions based on that. And so the fact is that as women, we have actual cycles of, different things that we're going through. And so we're required to eat for different reasons than men are, where men can build muscle or retain muscle. If we're doing things the wrong way as women, we are actually losing muscle by following some of these fad diets or these recommendations that are based on men. Now, again, when I have the actual information of, say, Dr. X said XYZ, and there's actual studies, then I definitely want to provide that. But in addition to the health journey, I'm also trying to educate myself on what is actually going to work for me, because the yo-yoing is what I've, up until now, have been up and down, up and down. I'll lose 10 pounds, I'll gain 15. I'll lose 20 pounds, gain 25. And it's up and down and up and down. And so I'll lose, but then when I gain, it seems like 5 more pounds have said, hey, we want to join the party too. And so just trying to educate myself on that so that I can learn the cycle of my body, specifically my metabolism, because as women and men, we are similar but very different, because women actually experience cycles.
We're different, but we're not different. Your body knows what's best for you, and my body knows what's best for me, and Sophie's body knows what's best for her. And that's the reason for trying to be on the eat when you're hungry, stop when you're satisfied. And if you're not hungry till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you don't eat till 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right, right.
And your body's metabolism is set on eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full. What I used to do, and I haven't done it since we started doing this, is I just eat, 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 eat. If it's on my plate, I'm going to eat it. It's there for a reason. It's there for me to eat. No other reason. But by talking and being conscious of what I'm doing and mindful, my wife is putting less on my plate. It's taking, in fact, she's done before me every time now. Because I'm taking a lot longer to eat it. I'm enjoying it. I'm tasting it. And when it's done for the first time about 3 days ago, I pushed my plate away with still chicken on it and still rice on it, because I started with the green vegetables to fill me up, the broccoli, I think it was that night, and then something else. And by the time I got to the chicken, I didn't even eat half of it. And it was a small portion of chicken. And it was a small portion of rice, but I didn't eat it because my mind said, wait a minute, if you're paying attention to what you're doing, you're not hungry anymore. Don't pay attention to what your mommy told you when you were little and push your plate away. So for me, I've noticed that anytime I even get close to a piece of food now, I think about it. It doesn't matter what it is. If I look, I'll go open the refrigerator still, and I'll look in it and I'll close it. I'll go look in the pantry, and I'll see the can of peanuts. I bought 5 cans of cocktail peanuts just last week, and I should have been through with one of them already because I love to have peanuts, And I did open it, but I've only had one little bowl of peanuts, If it goes empty, it's because my wife's going to eat it, not me. But when I ate that little bowl, it was because I was hungry.
Right.
So I ate it. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but I was hungry and I ate it. So I'm feeling really good about the whole thing. I mean, really good. I haven't weighed myself. I don't know if you guys have or not. That's counterproductive right now to weigh yourself.
Yeah.
Weigh in the beginning and then wait, because your mind will look at the number and it won't have clicked down anything, and you're saying, shit, this stuff doesn't work. No, I stopped, I'm not going to do it anymore. So,
Yeah, I definitely have been tempted. I was tempted maybe it was today because I was, I don't know. I was like, I felt like I wanted to taste something sweet. And so when I felt the need for something sweet, luckily there is something sweet in the house and but that's for hubby. Um, I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I really I don't have the desire for sugar, but I felt like something sweet. So instead I ate a banana. And so that was a snack. And so I find myself just being extremely mindful, doing the same thing. I'll open the fridge. And it's sometimes it's just out of habit because you're passing in the kitchen and you want to open things and you open the cupboard and you're like, yeah, I don't want anything. But at the same time, I think the beauty of why we're meeting and why we're having these conversations is because we can support each other through the process. And so when I do think about, or even if I do eat something that for me personally is not the best choice, I'm not going to sit and go, oh, I screwed up. I messed up. I'm not doing this anymore because this is just not sustainable for me. And so I just keep moving forward and trusting the process. But I am extremely mindful, especially when I eat, when I drink. So I love vinegar in like salads and things like that. And certain foods the vinegar tastes good, but eating it, just chucking it in a little shot glass is the worst thing, but I do taste it. And again, for me, it's to help me detox my body of all the crap. And I mean literal, not literal crap, because that would be gross, but the stuff that really has not been good for me, very processed, like the food that's in your intestine is it doesn't just empty out, it could be sitting there for months and months and sometimes years. And so I'm just trying to flush my body. Today I forgot to take my medications that are actually prescribed. And I was trying to figure out why I was having a headache all day. And it was this morning when I ate, because I broke the fast and I didn't wait I don't know, 18 hours before I ate. I ate, I think it was at 8 o'clock this morning. But I forgot to take my vitamins like I normally do. And so I've had this nagging slight headache all day. And I was like, why do I have a headache? And I thought it was my blood pressure. And it could have been, I didn't check my blood pressure. I just went and took my medicine that I had forgotten to take. So still working on those things.
Well, I'm actually pretty boring because, like, my go-to breakfast basically is a piece of rye bread toast with avocado and coffee. That's it for breakfast. And since we started doing this, my lunch has been usually either a bowl of soup. Most of the time it's homemade. Today it wasn't. It was canned soup, but or it's a cucumber and tomato salad with olive oil, and that's it. And then I eat a normal dinner. But that was even before I started this. So it's not like this is something I'm doing to try to cut down calories or something like that. I love soup. I mean, I even had soup for dinner the other day too. So, and then I'll have a normal dinner normally. Like I said the other day, it was chicken and rice and broccoli, and like I said, I pushed it away. But I've been very sedentary for the last 2 to 3 years, other than when I go play softball on the weekend. Up until about 2 or 3 years ago, I used to play softball 2 or 3 times a week. So it kept me going. Oh, she disappeared. Uh, anyway, we were recording it. So I've been very sedentary. But since we started this, I have incorporated I'm a little baby. It's too cold out to walk, and I don't like to walk anyway to begin with. So I'm using the treadmill, and it's a great thing to use the treadmill. And I listen to a book on tape while I'm doing it. So I don't walk anything like you do, Sophie. Not even
Mm-hmm.
close. It takes me a week to get to about what you do in a day. 10 miles. My goodness, right? But you do it
Five,
normally
five,
5 miles a
five
day, but
miles.
sometimes
Yeah.
10 miles at one time. 5 miles a day is taking me close to 4 days
Wow. Okay.
the treadmill
All right.
because I've been
Yeah.
sedentary this whole time. Now I will work that up. Right now, I'm just doing at 3 miles, about 3.5 miles an hour is what I'm doing the treadmill, and I do it for between 20 and 30 minutes. And
That's
then
good.
as this moves on, I'll probably move it up to an hour because it's healthy. It's good for me.
Yeah.
I don't need to be running out on the softball field once a month without doing anything in between. And then you're out there trying to catch your
Yeah.
breath when you hit a single, so that's what and then this week coming up, I will incorporate calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, and light weights a little bit, just because muscle actually burns fat better than it's been proven that you want to do small weights or something because it helps burn fat.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't want to lose the muscle you have if you're losing weight, and so you need to do something to make sure you don't keep it. And muscle actually weighs more. But I've noticed my pants fit better, and it's only been 10 days. So for me, it's been really, really
Good.
good.
To take my camera off for a moment because I had an alarm going off downstairs, indicating that something was finished, and I didn't want to have an accidental burning of things in the oven.
Now, I also have been every day but one, and one day I got interrupted. I thought I had my phone on silent, and I have an appointment set up for my annual physical, and they called me in the middle of my meditation in the morning, and it took me out of it, and then I couldn't get back mentally. I couldn't focus back on doing it. But I've been listening to my own hypnotic. What do we want to call it? Programming, hypnotic programming, we'll call it every day as well, similar to the one that I did for you, Sophie. And
Yeah.
tomorrow, Sophie, I'm gonna do a different one for you, and this one will encompass many more affirmations as well. We're also
Okay,
going to do a
awesome.
future pace on you, where you see yourself in the future, 90 days from now, and have you float out of your body and into that body. So
Sounds
that's
good.
what we'll do tomorrow. So, have you been listening to yours?
Yes. I
Okay.
had to I had to listen to it as I was walking the other day to figure out what was actually in it because every time I play it, I'm gone. So I made
This
sure I
time I'm only
listened
going
to
to
it
send,
awake.
yeah, this time I'm only going to send you the actual sound. I'm not going to send you the pictures or anything. So it'll be an MP4 just like that one was, but
Yeah.
it'll just be the words and stuff. And you didn't trip or anything, did you? While
No,
you were
no, no,
walking.
no. I just played it. It was in my pocket, so I wasn't watching the video. I was listening to it, but I had to do it
Yeah.
awake to see what you'd actually said in it because I had no clue. So
But your subconscious does, and that's the
yeah,
great thing
yeah,
about
yeah,
hypnotherapy is your
yeah.
subconscious is trying to. I wrote something down today. Your subconscious mind is trying to respond to your conscious mind with the most positive intent to the suggestion. So the suggestions that we're giving it, your subconscious mind is now basically battling with your conscious mind. You're not aware of it because your subconscious mind is trying to do the most positive intent it can to help you.
Yeah.
And it knows that some of this stuff, it can't go from 0 to 100 all at once, but it can get from 0 to 100 slowly. And
Yeah.
that's your subconscious mind working with your conscious mind. But this time there'll be more affirmations in it. And like I said, there'll be a future pacing. Andrea, you and I are going to do one tomorrow as well, right? Yeah. So
Sophie, are you experiencing any challenges with um, shifting your mindset from whatever you feel wasn't working before to now and the process you're going through now?
Um, so I'm still trying to work out what food to eat
Mhm.
because I find most things just blow me up and I end up with terrible wind, which is not very good when you're x-raying people at work. So even just the other day, I had tuna salad for lunch, and that did it as well.
what
It was just like cabbage and lettuce, and I think there was a bit of sweet corn in there, and um, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. You know,
So
even if we get to the 90 days and for some reason I have not seen the reduction in weight result that I'm hoping and looking for, my desire, I'll know that it's going to be successful because I already feel better. And
yeah, yeah.
part of it is the walking. Thank you, Sophie. You're the one that motivated me to do that.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's all about how do we feel and can we continue to feel that way and continue to have the mindfulness as we move forward? And for me, maybe the journey takes, 6 months or 9 months to get back down to playing weight. I don't know. And when I say
Yeah.
playing weight, I'm talking about like when I was just got out of the Navy or something. I mean, I haven't seen that weight in 20 years, so it'll be fun. But I know that the
Yeah.
journey is not over after 90 days for me. It's
Oh
gonna
no, I
be.
mean this for me has been a very long journey. I've been on that hamster wheel of trying to lose weight since um late teens.
Yeah, it's the
It's
small
been a
changes.
long time.
Yeah, the small
Yeah.
changes will add up and add up and add up. And like we were just talking a minute ago, if you keep listening and doing the work as far as the repetition to your subconscious mind,
Yeah.
it's gonna make it that much easier for you 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 90
Yeah.
days from now. It's just gonna, and it takes at least 30 days with that repetition to your subconscious mind for it to really, really cement in there. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So, what else?
Um, guess what? It's snowing.
You, you,
Nice. I love it for you, but I do not like snow.
you'd
So
have to watch our video this morning. She got so excited about snow. And it's perspective. And we were talking about the perspective of snow for one person is like, yeah, this is terrible. There goes
oh,
the snow again.
lovely.
But for her, it put her in a vibration over the top wherever nothing was bad. The only thing
Yeah.
bad would be if it quit snowing, and she didn't care if everybody
Yes.
walked out and slipped on the ice. It's fine
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
great.
Doing my job, that used to be the problem. You get the snow, you get the ice, and then you get the people that have broken their hips and everything, and then you're stuck in the operating theatre while they fix their legs and everything else because they've broken them. And yeah, but snow is very pretty. I will grant you that.
Yeah, so when I was this was wow, 20 this was actually 2017, believe it or not. I had just left my previous employer of 8 years, and when the money was running low, I had to go back to work. So I was doing a paper route, which required me to be up at 2 a.m. so that I can go get the papers, roll them up, and deliver them.
I'm,
And it
I'm,
was
I'm going to
snowing.
tell you a little story when you get done. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it was snowing. It was January 8th. It was snowing and there was a lot of ice. I had 12 Sunday newspapers, and if you know how thick they are, they're pretty thick. And I'm just doing my thing and I'm walking and I slip on black ice. I was like, "Ooh, that's gonna hurt." It already hurt when I fell. However, I think I had like 3 or 4 socks and I had rain boots on top. Maybe that's why I slipped. I thought that was going to give me traction. I was wrong. In any case, because I had on so many socks and I was kind of compacted inside those boots. Luckily, I didn't break my leg, but I did fracture my ankle. And when I took the boot off, because I continued to work because I didn't know that I did anything. I
Wow.
did that for several hours and I was determined to finish the paper out. And towards the end, I was in so much pain because I had to walk up and down stairs and the pain started pulsing. And even then, I didn't curse the snow or the ice. I was upset with myself because I was being told, Andrea, be careful. You could North Carolina, the black ice, it's gonna get you. And I was determined I was gonna do what I needed to do. Yeah, when I took that boot off, Ooh, my leg was purple and black and blue and all sorts of colors.
Oh,
And yeah, it was not pretty at all. But that didn't stop me from loving snow.
Sophie, I
yeah.
don't know what it's like over there for papers and paper routes or anything, but back here in the United States, back in, before the internet was popular, I'm that old, papers were a big thing. And
Yeah.
in the early 90s, after I got out of the Navy, I actually bought an Orlando, Florida, Orlando Sentinel that's in Florida, the city of Orlando, paper route. And I had 500 homes that I had to deliver to the paper to every morning. Now, one person can't do that in the amount of time they give you to have it done. And it's like Andrea said, you had to pick up the papers like at 2, and they had to be delivered by 6, but you had to fold them too and put them in little
Yeah.
plastic
Wow.
bags and all this stuff. And it was, you couldn't find good help. Nobody wants to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning for what they get paid to deliver papers because here, you think of a paper boy as somebody in, 12 years old on his little Stingray bike running down the street flipping papers. So
Oh, they
yeah,
do that here.
we're flipping them out of windows. Drive our
Hmm.
paper out. You were in cars, and then you'd go to the apartment complex. Like you were talking, you have to go up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs. Boy, I was so happy when I got rid of that route. And I must have only had it for about 2 years before I could resell it and get my money back. But I must have had, I'll bet you, more than 40 people during that time that I actually that I hired at one point in time to do part of the route. And they'd last 2 weeks or so, and then they'd be gone. The best ones to do it was my son and his friend. They would do like half the route, and I would do half the route at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, a lot of fun. Anyway, that's not losing weight, is it? I guess I lost weight doing that, going up and down those stairs. You can turn anything into a positive if you want to. So,
You could do, yeah.
all right. What else? We got anything else? We've done our 30 minutes of support.
Yeah. It's
Any
been good.
questions? So,
So
Sophie, I'll see
when
you
I
tomorrow at 5, right?
yeah, you will, yeah. So when I left England,
Mhm.
our last day we were finishing off stuff, it was snowing. That was on the 31st of January. And we landed here on the 1st of February and it was like 37 degrees and it was lovely. Bliss.
37 Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Celsius.
Celsius. And what is that in Fahrenheit?
Google it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's in
Um,
the 80s or
nearly
90s, isn't it?
nearly in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, I think it's 80s or 90s at least.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
what month was that? February?
Yes.
Yeah, so that was fall. Yeah, it was fall for you because you go into winter when it's our summer.
Yeah, so 1st of March is autumn.
Yeah, my first time
Yeah.
in your side of the world was in '83. I flew into New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand, in July, and it was cold.
Well, yeah.
My goodness, was it cold? So we had to drink beer to stay warm
Okay. Good
while we were
excuse.
there. And then I flew to Antarctica, and then I
Wow.
realized
Okay.
that's what cold is.
I bet. Yeah,
New
yeah.
Zealand was warm, but we would come back to New Zealand, and I had an opportunity to go to Australia all 3 years I was there for $10. I could have flown from New Zealand to Australia, but you're in such a hurry to get back home because you just spent 6 months in Antarctica, and all you want to
Yep.
do is go home and see your family. So I never did it. But we would get into New Zealand in February, late February, early
Yep.
March. Beautiful, beautiful weather. That's probably the best time of year for you guys, right?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's probably
January.
warmer here in
Yeah,
Queensland than it is in New Zealand that time
yeah,
of year. So, yeah,
yeah. So, all right,
yeah.
guys. So, Andrea, I'll see you tomorrow at 10. Do you have at least an hour and a half tomorrow? Okay. That's because we do our thing. We meet every
Yep.
day. So we'll do our thing and then we'll do the other part of it with the hypnotic programming. And then I'll see you at 8 o'clock Sunday morning, 5 o'clock my time.
Yes, you
Yep.
will. Yep.
Okay, guys, I'll send you both a copy of
All
this
right.
and then I'll post it as well.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
Oh, oh,
you.
oh, oh,
See
oh,
ya.
oh, oh.
What?
Toodles.
Darlings.
Toodle pip.
See ya.